Hello, everyone. This is Chelsea Childress. I did an interview with my grandfather. We call him Grandpops. His name is Stanford Giles, and I have taken the liberty of recording the conversations. I think he tells the story a little better than I do, so I just think it'd be better to hear his voice. So a lot of these will be interjections of me asking the question and him responding. The interview in total was about an hour and 20 minutes, but for the purpose of this presentation, we cut it down a bit. All right, please enjoy. Okay, Grandpops, what are some memories you have of growing up with your brothers and sisters?
Well, it was a rough housing with all the boys.
Rough housing?
Yeah, well, it wasn't fighting, it's just rough housing. Wrestling, and we played a lot of Tarzan and Cowboys and Indians, and we would make bows and arrows, and we would actually shoot the arrows at people.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing that God kept the heads down, because we would have lost a lot of eyes if we hadn't have. And puncture wounds.
Did you guys actually puncture each other?
We shot each other with bows, arrows, and BB guns.
Stanford explained some moments of being serious with his family, too.
But also, there was that time to be serious, and there being 8 people in the family, we spent a lot of time in hoeing gardens, getting the weeds out of them, planting things, harvesting things like potatoes and peanuts. I remember.
Stanford explains some hot summers and what they are like in Arkansas.
The real fun times was during the summertime, and it would be hot in the house. We would go out, get under the house where my dad had taken 2x4s and a staple gun, and he had made us toy trucks and cars and things like that out of 2x4s. They really didn't look like cars, they just had wheels on them.
Oh.
And we would play under the house, and it'd be raining like crazy. And then you'd hear Mom yell, "Boys, get up here!" You go up there, and she would have us. In those days, we did not have city water.
Okay.
And we had this porch outside the house, and right in the middle of it was the top of the well.
Okay.
And we had this about a 4-foot round container that we would drop down with a rope or I don't remember I think it's a rope. We would let it go down until it's submerged in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Then you'd pull it back up. You'd lift it across and flush the water out.
Okay, Grandpops, what is one of the hardest parts of growing older?
Not having a job. I don't have any money needs, but not having, keeping the mind active, something to do. And that's the reason I'm having a meet and greet over here Saturday night, is I want to get to know some of the people in my Sunday school class, my church, and things like that. And maybe that'll develop into something, because right now, the last 3.5 years of your grandmother's life, she was trying to recuperate from back surgery. So we kind of dropped out of church, didn't get to know anybody. So right now, and me going back to the same church is impossible. Too many memories. It's kind of like the preacher said today. Until each of us walk the path that you do with your wife's loss, we don't know how it is. We can say, "Oh, I understand," but we really don't. And he's right. And I say in my prayer every night, "Good Lord, your will, whatever." I don't think I'm interested in getting married again. So far in this church, there's been a couple of ladies that's kind of nibbled at my ear. Now, when I say nibbled at my ear, that's probably a bad way. But anyway, that has shown a mild interest.
Okay.
At a church, that's about all you can show.
Okay, Grandpops, what is one of the best parts of growing older?
Being around to see what your kids do and your grandkids do. I think you and your mother are traveling the same road your grandmother did. Education. And the frustrations that come along with teaching or something else. I would come home of a day from my Army job, and there would be Hilda sitting at the table here, and either Stan or Sonia or one at the other ends of the table, they'd be doing their homework while she was doing preparations for a class that she was teaching, preparations for a product that was required from her for college and things like that. So her sitting at the table like she did with our kids, in my opinion, I think it gave a visual lesson that you couldn't do verbally. It was just understood. Hilda didn't make them. They were emulating their mother. I don't know that your mother would say the same thing. I just know that I've seen it. That your mother, your uncles, all three, academically were National Honor Society types.
Okay, Grandpops, what is something you want your grandkids and your kids to remember you for?
I want my kids to take what I've created, the properties, and use it for their financial well-being in the future. What did I get when my father died? What did my parents have when my father died? Nothing.
Okay, Grandpops, how did you meet Grammy?
At church. She came to church one night with a gal that I'd dated a couple of times. I heard this voice. It was music. At 6'3", 170 pounds, I was kind of imposing. I pushed people out of the way until I saw her. Sorry. This is twice today. One of the preachers came over to chit-chat with me. Same day. He grabbed me. And he says, "It's not often I see true love." Yep. Anyway, it took me 6 months to get a date with her. And a date in those days was going to the local sundry, well, we call them pharmacies today. Back in those days, they had a counter and stuff in there that they sold ice cream sodas and banana splits and what have you. So we walked up, which was about a block and a half from my apartment and hers. She was about a block from where I lived. This was in Kansas City. And she had moved from the plaza up the Campbell Street. Why? I never did know. But she lived in the house next to my mom and dad. And we walked up and had, I think it was a banana split. And then after that, on Sunday afternoon, we would get together at either her apartment or mine, and we would have, and I thought this was so classy, a green salad. Ooh. And to this day, I love green salads.
Okay, Grandpops, are you different than the way you were before, or are you the same?
Yeah, in our younger years, we're very aggressive in pursuit of something. In their older years, if you've been halfway successful, you can be more understanding. But then you got to define what the hell is successful. Because successful to some people is money. Success to other people is love. To others, it's comfort. What are the goals that the person has set and recognized or realized? So, there's a lot of things you would have to evaluate to make a decision on that.
Do you feel like you've been successful in your goals?
Yeah, in the raising of our children. The rest of it, You know, when I go, it goes. The kids get it, whatever it is.
So Grandpops was very interesting in that he paid a lot of attention to what his family wanted to give him, but couldn't give him. And so that's what he wants to give his children. So it's really fun to see what he values. For this particular theory, I actually wanted to pull from the organizational culture theory, which examines the self-maintaining attitudes, values, habits, rituals, and goals that comprise a given organization or agency's procedural, social, and psychological belief system. So for Grandpops, his family is its own little organization, its own little agency. It has its own values, and he still lives by those values years later. So treating the family like an organization and using this theory to better understand the family culture provides crucial insights into the habits of Stanford's mind, his thoughts, his actions, and that can enhance our understanding of him. Well, thank you so much, guys, for joining me in this and listening to this story. Grandpops is wonderful in being more narrative in his information giving, so he's just a lot of fun to listen to. I hope you enjoyed it. Y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.